All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about our elimination test tomorrow. So tomorrow, when you take your test, some of the problems you're going to see are going to look just slightly different. And what I mean by different is you're going to get a little bit different set of instructions. So our goal is still to solve the system by using elimination, but instead of finding x and y, I'm going to tell you which variable I want you to solve for. So in this situation, if I say solve for y, what that really means is cancel out the x term. Now, the nice thing about this problem, you're going to find kind of 3 levels of difficulty on your test. In the easiest difficulty, what's going to happen is your variable that you want to cancel is already going to be set up to cancel. And what I mean is that they're already both going to be the same number, and one's going to be positive and the other one's going to be negative. When this happens, all you need to do is come over here and just add. Negative 6x plus 6x cancels out, so we don't have any left. And then if I have 5y and I take away 4y, that would leave me with just 1y. Now 6 take away 12, or 6 plus a negative 12 would give me a negative 6. So in this situation, I find out that y equals negative 6, and I have solved for y just like I wanted to. Now, for this next problem, it says solve for x. What that really means is cancel out the y term. Well, in this situation, this is an easy problem again because we have a negative 4y and a positive 4y. And what that means is that when I come over here and I add these together, these two are going to cancel. Now, negative 5x plus 4x would give me negative 1x. And then 4 take away 8 would give me a negative 4. Now, I do still need to get x alone, so I'm going to divide by negative 1 and divide by negative 1. And I'm going to find out x equals a positive 4. And just like we wanted, we have now solved for x. So we're not going to worry about going back and plugging in on the test. Tomorrow, you're going to solve for the variable that I asked you to. Now, here's a slightly harder version of the problem. In this problem, we want to solve for x, which means we are going to try to cancel out the y's. Now, if you look at your y variables, right here we have negative 4y and negative 4y. Now, since they're both negative, they're not going to cancel. So what you need to do at this point is you need to pick one of the equations and change all of the signs. So I'm going to do that to the top equation. So when I rewrite it, I'm going to have a positive x plus 4y is equal to a positive 2. Now, I officially did not change my bottom equation, so that's going to stay exactly the same. Now, when I come over here and I add these together, my y's are now going to cancel off because one's negative and one's positive, and they're both the same number. Now, if I have 1x and I add a negative 2x, that would give me a negative 1x. And then 2 plus 0 is 2. To finish solving this, we just need to divide by negative 1 and divide by negative 1. And when we do that, we find out x is equal to a negative 2, and we are done. We have solved for x just like we wanted to. Remember, when it says solve for x, it really means cancel y. Let's look at problem number 4. In this one, it says solve for y. What that means is we want to cancel out the x's. So in this situation, we should first look, do the x's cancel right now? And the answer is no. And the reason they don't is because they're both positive. Remember, one needs to be negative and one needs to be positive in order for them to cancel. So, to fix this, what we can do is you can pick either one of the equations. I'm going to pick the bottom equation. And you can make, or you can change the sign on every number that's there. So my top equation here is not going to change. So I'm just going to recopy that one. But my bottom equation, every number is going to have a different sign. So right now this is a positive 3x, so now it's going to be a negative 3x. This is a minus 1y, so now it's going to be a plus 1y. And this is a positive 18, so now it's going to be a negative 18. Right? Every sign gets changed. Now, once you've made it so they're going to cancel out, then you're allowed to come over here and add. So your x's go away. 5y plus 1y, that's going to give me 6y. And negative 18, positive 18 plus a negative 18 is 0. So to wrap this up, let's divide by 6 and divide by 6. And hey, we find out y equals 0. So we solved for y just like we wanted to. Now I'm going to change the directions here. Instead of telling you what I want you to solve for, what if I gave you an answer blank on your test that looks like this? Well, if I just say y equals, doesn't that tell you that I want you to solve for y? And if I want you to solve for y, that means you need to get y all by itself. So to get y by itself, you need to cancel out the x's. Now, right now, the x's aren't going to cancel because they're not the same number. One's 10 and one's 5, and actually they're both negative. So what you need to do is figure out, how do I turn the smaller number into the opposite of the bigger one? And in this case, to turn a 5 into a 10, you would multiply by 2. But since they're both negative, we want to flip one of them to positive, so I'm going to make it a negative 2. Now, my top equation doesn't change. My bottom equation, negative 2 times negative 5x is going to be a positive 10x. Negative 2 times a negative 6y is a positive 12y. And negative 2 times 0, well, that's just still 0. Now, when we come over here, it's when we add that we get to cancel those out. So those go away. Now, 1y plus 12y, that gives me 13y, and 0 plus 0 is 0. Now, we haven't gotten y alone yet, so we need to divide by 13 and divide by 13. And that's going to leave us with y equals 0. So just like we wanted, we were able to figure out what y equals. So on this problem, if I gave you this and I said, hey, what does y equal? That tells you that you want to cancel x. So if I want to cancel the x, then what I would need to do is, well, right now they're not going to cancel because one is a 1 and the other one is a 2. So if they're both different numbers, we got to make the smaller one into something that will cancel with the bigger one. Now, I think I can do that by multiplying this whole equation by 2. So if I were to do that, let me get rid of my words over here, I would have a negative 2x minus 2y is equal to 2. And my bottom equation, since I'm not changing it, is going to stay exactly the same. Now, to finish this problem up, we want to just add. So when I add these together, my x's cancel out. Negative 2y, take away 2y is a negative 4y. And 2 plus 18 is 20. To wrap this up, we just need to get y alone. So let's divide by negative 4 and divide by negative 4. And you're going to get y equals 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. So negative 5 is your answer. Thank you guys so much for watching this full video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions before tomorrow's test, just reach out and ask. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.